And that should make us live. Good,
Okay, we are live. I'm seeing the stream on my end.
yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Exalted Scarfcast. What? Where are we now? Number 29, I believe.
Yep,
The Iron Dome. I plan the whole
we're in.
Iron Dome thing because holy shit, I discovered something really stupid going on with video game journalism. Assuming they
Well,
cover games anymore.
we're talking about a complicated subject matter, so I might as well make a couple things clear first here. As it has been established, I am Jewish. Several times.
Keep in mind that does not mean he supports Israel.
No, look. I'm one of those guys who basically looks at a situation of it's a complicated mess of something. Israel has done a lot of bad shit. And Palestine to an extent. I can't tell you who deserves it. I kind of am at this point washing myself of the situation as much as I can. But that doesn't mean I support anyone doing something like bombing people. Okay? Fuck that noise. Fuck civilians getting hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no
really
support.
turned into a game of who can kill whose civilians the most. The armies aren't even fighting each other; they're just fighting each other's civilians.
Yeah, no, like it's a complicated mess, dude. And I don't want to be look, I might have and look, it's an issue. My dad in his case is a little more biased towards Israel himself, but again, it's complicated. Myself, I hate it. It blows. It's ticked off. But I want you to, but I am Jewish, so I want people to understand where I'm coming from. I don't support what Israel is doing. Okay? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was leaning towards being on the Palestinian side, and then the Palestinians started doing some really bad shit. It's like if two guys got into a bar fights, then one guy figures he can't really fight the uh, win in a fist fight with the other guy, so he just hits the other guy's wife. So in order to stop the guy
Well,
from hitting his wife, he tries to punch him. Only he just puts his wife in front of him to take all the punches. It's basically kind of like that.
look, it's a mess. Like I said, it's a mess. I wash my hands of the situation. But I don't. But if you
And
support one side,
in terms of power level, I mean, you gotta admit, Palestine's kind of the underdog when they're using dump truck rockets.
yes. Oh, very much so.
Have you
Look,
seen the photos coming out of this? This is like they're like the freaking hobo army.
yeah. I look. Right now, Israel has the major advantage, and frankly, I just wish both of them would just somehow stop. But I'm not also here to say, look, I'm not here to be like, this is just this has been going on a longer time. It's from
Oh
before
yeah,
I was
it's an older war than you guys might think.
yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah,
part of the world has seen. Ah, oh, jeez, what was that animation that I showed you a while ago? This land is mine.
yeah, basically.
That basically summarizes the whole thing. Look up the animation. This land is mine.
Yeah, like again, I'm not trying to be a guy who says, "Hey, you should do this, blah blah blah." Do what you feel is right in this situation, whatever you have to support.
Unless
You
you're
know?
IGN, apparently.
Yeah, but here's the thing that we have to ask ourselves. Do we want IGN to weigh in on political situations?
Well, short answer, no.
Okay, let's get into the story because it's actually a little interesting. So IGN is so I one of the IGN sites ended up making a post for a charity to help out Palestinian civilians.
Yeah, unaware that most of those Most of the sites that basically do charity for Palestinian civilians are really just front groups that allow Hamas to buy more weaponry with the funds.
I'm not here to talk about what they do.
But
Like they,
yeah, that's kind of like the thing you need to be aware of whenever you find these kinds of charities because it happens a lot. So needless to say, when they buy more rockets to launch into Israel, IGN Israel weighs in.
yeah. So here's what happened. So they made a post about it, and IGN took it down. Um, and yeah, and this is a kind of complicated situation because it's talking about censorship. I definitely was on Twitter when it was taken down, and oh my god, the censorship discourse.
Yeah,
You want me to sum it up?
go right ahead.
Oh man, all the gamers get so incensed when they lose their big titty anime game, but when actual censorship happens, they are silent, which was not true at all, actually.
Um,
Uh,
that was an actual support of a particular military group. Well, a front group that supports a military group that's actively killing civilians. So I don't know. Unless those big tits have rocket launchers hitting random civilian buildings, I don't think that's the same.
it's a whole thing, but honestly, Pat weighed in on it. I don't know about the Hamas stuff, honestly. That if that is something like I'll do research into it later.
Yeah, I kind
Whatever.
of fell into a rabbit hole and started hearing about all the craps they've done. So it's like, okay, fuck the both of you. If we really want to do the region a favor, we take it over ourselves.
Dude, no, no. At this point, we really can't do anything. Look, we've tried to take over regions ourselves at this point.
Yeah, it never turns out well, anyways.
Like,
It's like
like
that
what
part of
you're
the world is
suggesting.
cursed.
Look, man, what you're suggesting, you might as well be saying we should just give him 10 kicks to the dick and then piss on them.
Well, it'll stop them kicking each other in the dick.
Nah, clearly, no, clearly, they're all about, all.
But yeah, this was just something IGN did, and they seem to have forgotten that they have a branch in their company that really doesn't want to support this kind of stuff.
Well, here's the thing. One of the problems is boils down to it's a complicated situation because honestly, I do think it's okay to post about charity groups if they're actually charity groups.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna say,
at least make sure they're charity groups in situations like this, because you know there's got to be front groups.
yeah, look, and technically this was taken down because like it was saying to take a side because the thing about the Palestine-Israel conflict, anytime you speak of it, people are going to assume you take a side and you're on that side, and there's basically no effing nuance. Like I admit up front, I'm Jewish, and some people are going to assume I'm like an Israel spy sent here to fucking destabilize the entire United States
As
in
long as they're not
order.
worried about Russian spies, then.
I don't know. I don't know. Look, one of my elected officials thinks I control the weather, so I don't know what to think about myself sometimes.
Well, last D&D game, you seem to have controlled the moon.
Well, yeah, we Jews control the moon. We don't control the weather. I mean, okay, tides, yes, but we can't do like specific stuff, you know?
Yeah, one day we
We
should
can't.
do a stream of our D&D exploits.
Oh, jeez, yeah, we really should. But honestly, this whole thing is basically just one hell of like a wash moment because
Yeah, but
young.
I don't mean to like talk too much about the Palestinian conflict. Just the fact that IGN just effectively went to war with itself.
Yeah,
That's
look,
basically what's going on. It's IGN Israel versus regular IGN at this point because they're all on opposite sides of the political chain, which is all the more reason why game journalism sites should stay out of politics.
well, here's the thing: if you're going to be a game journalist site, at least be honest. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this was the kind of thing that people were against all the way back in Gamergate days, and lo and behold, look what it amounted to.
Yeah,
I mean, hate to tell you this, IGN, but the Gamergaters were right on this.
yeah. IGN wasn't really part of the GamerGate discussion, really. Like,
I mean, there were a few articles that came up here and there.
well, like honestly, the ones I tend to think about are Polygon and Kotaku. Let's be
Oh yeah.
honest.
Well, that's because they're the ones who did it the most. In fact, I'm surprised Kotaku didn't come up during this.
Honestly, Giant Bomb is also another one that I also tend to think about in this case.
Uh, trying to.
But
I'm trying to segue into the other thing, but I forgot what country it was. But
what was the other thing exactly? I might remember.
let's just say, somebody named after a very famous German World War II leader just got elected to office somewhere. I'm trying to remember if the
Oh,
country's Namibia or something, or Numidia, or I think it might be Numidia.
Nvidia. Oh my God, Jesus. That is a level of special I was not prepared for today.
Yeah, that was just something I just found out right off the fly. Uh, Jeez, I'm trying to remember because that was definitely something I needed to show you just because of like in terms of like what the fuck kind of moment.
Hitler.
I mean, let's face it, he's effectively more of a meme than an actual controversial figure at this point. It's like
Uh,
Satan. He's basically
Honestly, he's
he's
a
a guy
go.
you put in as a joke at this point.
Look, he's a go-to punchline to an extent, which is fine. That's what he deserves, honestly.
Yeah, he's a punchline that you keep on punching.
Yeah, like, look, Captain
Oh,
America punch.
it was Namimba
Oh,
or something.
Nimimba. Okay.
But yeah,
But
let's meet the new president of Namimba. This guy right here. I mean, yeah, clearly an African nation. It's I think at one point it had German occupation. That's why they have so many people who have like German names. But
hey,
basically, what is it?
basically,
I'm trying to remember.
well, like,
Yeah, he
it
went
is what it
to or Namibia or Namibia.
Nimimba.
Yeah, he basically just won an election there. And jeez,
We are clearly the greatest political commentators.
that's the thing. We're not really political commentators. It's like President of Namibia, simple English. Dang it! I'm trying to find a good article instead of like having to look up a YouTube headline.
I understand, but
But yeah, that actually does say his name. But But yeah, that's basically what happened. That shows how big in clown world we are in right now, where we can honestly say Adolf Hitler came back and went into office.
Well, hey, sometimes look, honestly, if I had that name, I'd basically be like, time to change it. I am now Adam Hitler. I don't know.
Yeah, you still got the Hitler name. It's like, how are you gonna?
I would have like changed my name to like Heller or something.
I mean, this was. We are living in one of the weirdest timelines I've ever seen. Yeah, I am not seeing any article that wants to say his name. But yeah, that's just something I just found out just now on the fly. Just browsing around in certain places. I'm like, what the hell is? It's like, what the hell is this? Adolf Hitler, president of
Adolf President. But that does remind me.
what?
That does honestly. Well, it's just one of those things of just like, I occasionally deal with controversy on my end of things because for some reason I make mild takes and then I end up being highly controversial. Ooh. Well, that's just me. Yeah. So right now, the biggest thing that I'm seeing discussed is I ended up in discussion about the new Cruella movie.
Oh, wait. Oh yeah, there's a Coelho movie coming out.
Cruella Deville, she skins puppies bare, and I don't care. Kill me.
What?
Anyway,
Why are they making her a sympathetic villain?
well, I I can kind of see the reasoning, but it's one of those cases of she doesn't have a good motivation, and she never did, and that's kind of the point, because Cruella is literally meant to just be an evil punching bag, and that's fine. Sometimes in stories you need heels, and for people who don't know this term because you're not wrestling people, and I understand, hey, you're not wrestling people. You're the bad guy. You're the mook. You're the one who gets punched in the face. But Cruella has always worked as, like a villain because her motivation is very simple. I want to skin puppies. 100 of them for a coat. It's like, oh my god, the level of animal cruelty.
Yeah,
And
just why?
I I honestly
Decided
think
on
it's just because
the
she's a
comfy
Okay.
fun villain. And here's the thing. One of the problems with how people tend to like things is that if I like something, it has to be good. As in morally upright. You can't just be entertained by a villain being a villain. They have to be, oh, high morals or anti heroes or some other bull crap like that. Myself, dude, I enjoy the Punisher. I'm not going to pretend that I think what Frank does is right, but I am going to be like, I understand. You know, like that's the whole point. But with Cruella, it's like, you have nothing. There's nothing there to root for. You're literally saying this high class fashion woman who wants to skin puppies. And this isn't even like the Joker, because I'll tell you something about the Joker that the Joker was smart enough to do. Since Joker doesn't have a set in backstory and he just comes from nowhere, you can literally write him from any angle. But
Literally.
Cruella, yeah. So, you could make him a poor, mentally unstable man. and that was already built into the character. So it's not like you're really missing much. And that isn't even going into, say, the origin of the Killing Joke, where the guy was on hard times. Again, these characters can work like this. It's just that not every character it works for. Cruella de Vil is not like the character I think would need the sympathetic backstory. Honestly, there are probably better characters within Disney canon you could maybe give sympathetic backstories to.
I didn't
I don't
even like it
know.
when they did to Maleficent because of the name. It's like, it's Maleficent. What do you gotta call her next? Beneficent?
Um. Oh, Maleficent. Look, here's the thing. It all comes down to one simple fact: Disney didn't make Wicked.
Right.
Because here's the thing: that is totally a movie they would love to make, but they never had the chance. So it's just kind of gone. Ooh. Because, and honestly, one of the great things about, like, one of the things about, like, the Wizard of Oz stuff is, you know, Walt always wanted to do Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So that was always a major, like, thing with him.
Yeah. Well, he had Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if they made the Red Queen into a sympathetic villain? Which they could probably do if they try hard enough.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck is this? Alright. But no, like, I would love to see, but, I would love to see, like, if somebody was willing to do it. I wouldn't mind seeing Cruella de Vil be done well. But, you know, that's just me. Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. But but here's the thing. Cruella's a villain character. She doesn't work as a hero, in my opinion. And I honestly think Cruella lacks the appeal of the working class Joker. But that's just me. That's a game theory or something, right?
Or a movie theory.
I know. Something,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I just found out that Adolf Hitler was a middle name for this guy, so it's actually Adolf Unan. Adolf Hitler Unana or so.
Oh yeah.
So technically he's not he doesn't have Hitler as the last name. He just has that as a middle name, which why would you want that as a middle name? I don't know. It's just we are living in W2F times, guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We're
speaking of,
all
have you seen the Iron Dome footage?
no, I have not seen the Iron Dome footage.
It looks like a live action version of Missile Command.
Really?
Because the way it works is that they have all these little like uh, guided missiles that'll seek out rockets and detonate like right at the rockets to keep them from detonating on the ground.
Wow.
So I'm like,
I'm looking at it right now.
yeah, it looks like a light show when you look at it.
Jesus.
Someone did it. Someone made a live action version of Missile Command.
Well, it's good to know. I wonder I wonder if the ludonarrative dissonance will hit them hard.
Yeah. Well,
Couldn't really.
consider this the future of our warfare at this rate. Because we're just going to be seeing people lobbing rockets from far away into civilian territories, and our military knocking down those rockets with other rockets.
We're just gonna knock down every rocket. We're
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I guess the other thing I could talk about is Chris Rock's comment on cancel culture ruining comedy.
Oh God, Chris Rock made a comment on that shit.
Yeah, I think it was on a show somewhere where he said that it was something along the lines of it's making people be too safe. They're not taking risk, and therefore they comedy is becoming more boring as a result. I mean, people need to have a right to fail or bomb. It's like, and he's not wrong. I mean, there are plenty of jokes that you and me can both laugh at, but we could probably not get away with on here.
Yeah, like, look, we all know that your urge to Holocaust me at any moment is strong.
I'm only I'm only part Chinese, not part German.
Hmm. I'm not sure if I trust that.
That's about as close to like holocausting someone I could get. It's like being part Chinese.
Well, well, you know the Uyghurs.
Yeah.
Oh God, I feel so sorry for them. Jesus.
Oh jeez, uh you remember like that troll like posting that was done by 4chan that says like Islam was right about women? I expect a sequel to that where it's saying it's like China was right about Islam, and then another one that says Islam was right about Jews. It's like just to really mess with people.
God. God, I talked about the Islam thing with in relation to uh I talked about the Islam thing in relation to being Jewish.
Yeah,
If only because that's a weirdly complicated subject, and I've talked to so many different people about it at times because I've met enough good Muslims in my life where they don't really make it a big deal, but
yeah,
some
it's
do.
being mature about the situation.
Yeah, look, their religion says at times I need to be cleansed from this earth,
Yeah,
and that's not. I know some people are like, no, that is definitely. It's like no, there, there,
it's
there.
kind of what they believe in.
It's I've looked, and it's like enough people at least believe it that it's like nothing you really can do about it. But whatever.
But yeah, it's sometimes I just want to shout out. Let's just do a timeout on the whole genocide thing. Just time out, guys. No more genociding. I call a genocide
Yeah.
ceasefire.
Look, we're just gonna have to make the no genocide rules zone. You're not allowed to genocide uh people, and you're not allowed to genocide people. In fact, let's not ever genocide people again. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Uh huh.
How did we even get onto the? Oh, right, Chris Rock. But basically, the
Yeah.
whole attitude is that I mean, some of the funnier jokes tend to be controversial because they take that risk. I mean, just Take a look at Dave Chappelle and his like stand-up routine that happened a while back. I mean, I could tell you right
Yeah.
now, a lot of trans people probably got pissed off at that. But his friend
Oh
who was
no.
trans that was in the audience, she was laughing her head off.
Oh yeah. Again, it's complicated, you know.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it's really all about the delivery.
Yeah. And like, and here's the thing: it's not like Chris was saying any LGBT people were bad. He was just mostly, sorry, Chappelle.
Dave
Like,
Chappelle, yeah.
he wasn't talking about LGBT people kind of bad. Just the fact that they have some drama that they clearly like to say is on the download, but once you actually dig into it, it's like, oh god, what? You know?
You know, some levity does make the hard times feel better.
Yeah. And look,
I mean, the fact that
I
you can joke about it actually means that it doesn't harm you as much.
well, and honestly, there are issues within the LGBT community that really are kind of bad. Like, dude, biphobia alone is really bad.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah, no. Okay, let me explain to it. Let me explain this. Okay, but to a lot of people, being bi means you're fooling people, or you're faking, or you have more privilege than other people.
D- d- Oh my god, how does the rainbow community end up in a civil war like this?
Look, it comes from personal story stating, like it's like this. Oh, this woman left me for a man. She was faking. Or it's like she has the privilege of being able to date men. Like, that's the idea. And I've seen this bit. And I've seen this stuff played out with bisexual men and bisexual women. And it just fucking annoys me because. And it's not like straights can't not be biphobic either. Like, dude, like a lot of straight people have issues too with this whole thing. It's just kind of shocking to see in the LGBT community because it's like acceptance, blah blah blah. Oh god, we're gonna also have to talk about this.
Oh,
There's also
what do they
this
do?
big. Oh, there's. I'm gonna talk about this because this is like a relative. I'm gonna talk to you about the kink debate.
This is gonna go down a weird territory, isn't it?
Let's talk. Yes. Uh, but I'll talk about it because we do enough weird topics on this thing. So the kink debate is a weird one, and it basically boils down to this: at Gay Pride Parade, you often see people dress up in like their very kinky clothing and shit like that. And here's the debate: um, should Pride Parade be age gated? Because some people bring their kids to pride parades. And that means sometimes they see people dressed up in bondage like slave dogs.
Yeah.
Now, is this a good thing? Oh, in my opinion. Personally, I think there should be like an all ages pride parade rather than just like look, if you want kink to be part of the pride parade, don't let kids in.
Yeah,
You know?
that's the thing. It's like there's just some things that you need to just let kids be freaking kids. Don't get them involved in this weird fetishized stuff.
Look, I'm okay with kids going to regular pride parades, no kink shit involved, all that jazz, rainbows, butterflies, whatever. But I don't want suddenly, but I don't want to see, but it's very hard to be like, oh, look, oh, hey, Chelsea, I don't need to explain Leather Daddy to you.
Uh, I think they're kind of. I think this means they might be going down the route of the furries.
Oh,
Because
dude.
believe it or not, the furries did not start off as a sort of kink kind of stuff. It just started off with a
Well,
bunch of enthusiasts who just liked anthropomorphic cartoon animals.
I gotta talk about this, I guess, because I have to talk about this because I would know way more than I think. Okay.
I mean, Down the
So,
Rabbit Hole did a whole video on this whole thing, on the history of the furry fandom. And they
yeah,
just had parties, and parties kept getting kinkier and kinkier.
yeah. Well, again, you also have to understand one of the things is that the LGBT community is heavily involved in the furry fandom.
That does not surprise me, actually.
Yeah, no, it's not a shocking secret. In fact, I would not call it a shocking secret. You know? But it's always been there, and that's pretty important, I guess. So, but yeah, no, the LGBT community very important for the furry community in terms of just like people being there and what gets published and stuff. Like again, since furry kind of is a weird kink, it ended up. I know a lot of gay furries at this point in my life, so
Same here.
yeah, yeah. So it's not that uncommon a thing, you know. But whatever. I'm one of those guys that's like, never really been my thing. But hey, uh, but that's kind of the thing. Like talking about kink at stuff like this, you can't just have kids there because look, you don't allow kids in most things regarding sexuality, and I think kids parents need to be able to kind of like determine when that's okay to really let them explore, and oftentimes I agree with this is 18 is about the right age. So like,
Yeah, when you have kids twerking on the street, you know you've gone somewhere wrong.
oh yeah, look kids, look, we're not talking about the cuties generation here.
Oh, there are videos of that happening like live on some of these Pride Parade stuff. There's even like one kid that cross dresses and has a stripper name called Lactatia.
Oh god.
Yeah, once you go that far, take it take a wide step back. Eh, I mean, these are territories that we're not really meant to tread on here, guys.
Yeah, like clearly. But
At least
these
not
are
with children, because you know that when they grow up, something
oh yeah,
bad might happen. I mean, we're not seeing it yet, but we may see it like within the next 20 years or so.
pretty much. But anyway, it's getting pretty right now. It's getting pretty late for me because I just have to take care of some stuff, and life just kind of getting in the way right now.
Oh yeah,
So we'll end it here tonight with this weird stuff. But next week we'll see about
yeah.
getting,
This has been a fairly controversial episode.
I guess, by our standards, I would
Yeah,
call
by
it.
our standards. I mean, I started off kind of wanting to talk about the whole IGN thing because it is gaming related, and it just kind of amused me that it's like they were so
Uh,
blatant about it that they forgot
you
that they
know,
had they
you
had
know, I'm
is
actually going to
really.
stay here for. Actually, I'm going to stay here for another thing because I actually did forget about talking about this, and I feel bad. But now that I remember talking about this, I at least want to leave off on this topic.
All right.
Uh, Kentaro Miura, the Berserk mangaka, has died.
Oh yeah,
Um, and this is actually a huge blow to a lot of people, including me.
I know, right? I mean, holy shit, dude.
One of the most important manga and anime of all time. Um, Berserk inspired so
Oh
many people. Like
yeah.
even Razor Fist had nothing but good words about Berserk. And you know how the guy talks about manga and anime.
Yeah, he calls them all ripoffs of Bon SNA.
I know. Um, and he was just like,
Technically, he said that about Berserk too, but.
dude, I get it. But even he put out good words about Berserk. I'm just saying here.
hmm Yeah, I
Hmm.
know, right? It's like, I mean, it was one of the most manliest manga I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it was a great story. And,
In a
oh,
dark
God.
fantasy setting, which is generally my favorite kind of medieval fantasy setting.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it is one of but it is one of my favorite but it is one of my favorite like works out there. It's just so good, and honestly, it just shocks me. uh Now, thankfully there hasn't been a lot of people trying to bash Miura, because Berserk, if you don't know, is not a pleasant series. It deals with a lot of sexual assault, violence, gore, all that jazz. It is dark fantasy. At sometimes it's most pitch black, I would say. Um, but it is a work about overcoming tragedy. It's not about like just, indulging in the gore. It's about living life and keeping on living and getting through it. So, again, Berserk is a beautiful, beautiful manga. And to lose Kentaro, and here's the thing about Berserk, it has not finished yet. Now, according to reports, Miura ended up training up a bunch of dudes to finish it off in his stead. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I expect that might end just about as well as Robert Jordan's people finishing his works.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah, no. That I mean he didn't end up too bad by comparison, but yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
good luck to those guys. I mean, I hope they do it justice still.
yeah. There were a couple people who tried to own Kentaro Miura, but they quickly. I remember I found one dude, and it was just like, "Oh no, they found me!" It's like, yeah, and everyone was just telling them to be like, yeah, no, you're not getting away with this shit right now." He's a great mangaka, was inspiring to so many people, and a lot of people. This also makes a lot of old jokes about Berserk really, really hurt. A lot of people used to make jokes about him dying before it finishes and stuff like that, and just it sucks.
Well, it happened.
Yeah,
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 your
it
joke became
happened.
a reality there, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
But look at the bright side,
yeah.
Kentaro. You created something so strong and manly it outlived you.
That's fair. Um, but there was a lot of great notes from other stuff. Like the creator of Hajime no Ippo has a really great story about him that I would recommend looking up. Um, and it is an important, story. I actually really do like it, but it is what it is right now.
Yeah. Well, should we end it here?
Yeah, we'll end it here. Thank you, Kentaro Miura, for the manga. It was a great time.
Alright. A last farewell, Kentaro. We shall all have a
Mhm.
minute's forces in your honor.
Uh, uh,
Let's not sing it right now. Good night, guys.
yeah, no, we can't.